Saurabh, you've been telling us about the atmosphere in the 90s when you helped create NASSCOM, which also allowed the creation of the global technology giants that we see today. Since then, the culture of entrepreneurship has also taken root, especially for first generation professionals. You know, you don't need to have a business background. How different is it today? And tell us a little bit about how Indian Angel Network has contributed to this.
You know, the one learning that one had in NASSCOM in the IT industry is that first generation entrepreneurship is something that can make dramatic difference. In 25 years, we've created an industry that when we founded NASSCOM, we thought would be $1 billion someday. It was 160 billion last year. Direct, indirect employment of 10 million people, contribution of 20–30% to our exports. So what it said to me and to all of us is, listen, we can dream big. And really entrepreneurs can make a big difference. And so to some extent, my focus after I'd done my first company, exited, did another company, exited, was, hey, maybe it's more interesting for me to really help create a large number of companies than do one more company myself. And so the first thing I did is, along with some friends, we did a venture capital fund called Infinity in 1999. First VC fund in the private sector. And we created 19 companies. Some marquee names like India Bulls, Indus, some very well-known names. And then from there, one realized that we needed to kind of somehow build the right kind of entrepreneurial ecosystem. And if you look at the US, in a typical year, VCs put close to $25 billion in 5,000 companies. Angels put $26 billion in 50,000 companies. 1 in 10 succeeds, needs 10 times the money. Now, we had an inverted pyramid. You can't reap what you don't sow. So the thought was, after Infinity, is, listen, we need to build the angel community. Now, that's hard to build because globally, Rockefellers and Fords have not known to be angel investors. It's largely first generation entrepreneurs who had one or more cycle of wealth creation, because for them, being in business was not a matter of destiny, but an accident. And after a while, you get bored and you are happy to sort of become a coach.
But you had a different agenda, because you had experienced the pangs of starting something new and tried to struggle through lack of resources, capital, government support.
All of that. And so in some ways, I felt that all of us who had been through that experience were very well positioned to help entrepreneurs. Like when we were growing our companies, we were profitable, but there was no venture capital. So it took us much longer to scale. If you look at any company, Infosys, for example, look at how much they grew in the first 10 years versus the next 10 and the next 10, right? So out of that, the idea was, let's create an angel group. And again, just like NASSCOM, it's amazing if it's the right idea at the right time, where it goes.
In some ways, Saurabh, it brings to my mind the thought that you've been like a cement which has been bringing a lot of these industry leaders together, putting it an institution in place. So, you know, there might be individual bricks, but the cement brings them together. And building an institution is really what is far more important than just the individual companies, and that must have been had its challenges.
Well, at one level, yes, I've been fortunate to be in this place at a time when we were seeing so many possibilities. But you are right. It's not that I want to belittle formation of companies. I've done startups, so I know how hard they are to do. But building institutions is immensely more difficult because you're dealing with peers. You could be I was chairman of NASSCOM, but or let's say of TIE. But the only authority you have as chairman is what your peers are willing to give you. It's not by virtue of shareholding, not by virtue of being a CEO. Much harder to build, but immensely more impactful.
And long lasting.
and long lasting. Because if you look at NASSCOM, if we didn't have NASSCOM when we did it, I really doubt whether the software industry would be where it is today. The STPI scheme, which transformed the industry, came through a collaboration of NASSCOM and the Department of Electronics. So if you look at the Angel Group, when I founded it, let's say like NASSCOM, and we thought we'd be $1 billion someday, I said, well, we'll do some angel investing amongst friends, we'll be 20, 30 people. I had not planned for the fact that we would be, what I'm told is now the largest angel group in the world. 400 plus people doing an investment every 2 weeks, spread around the globe, 7 operations including London, seeing 5,000 entrepreneurs a day. But in some ways it's been transformational, because when I started this, there were no angels in the country, no angel groups. But now there are many others that have come up. Angel investing is become the single most important factor today in breeding a whole lot of entrepreneurs who can then get to the next level on venture capital and then get into private equity.